A fire rages before a richly adorned institution, and we slowly push in on the flames. White, hot tongues lap at the edges of books fresh upon the pyre. Smoldering leather hangs thick in the night air. We see a warden, bearing the crest of the Agra family, moving towards his commanding officer. Lieutenant Anthony, we're on the last crate of books. Have you evacuated the temple? No, sir. Forgive me, sir, but should we evacuate? I'd prefer not to read about civilian casualties in the morning, Corporal. Sir? Evacuate the temple, then burn it down. The corporal gives a hand gesture, and 3 wardens storm the building. Fire pops as it devours a particularly meaty text, and a moment later the corporal emerges, struggling with a young Maximus San Sebastian. Get your hands off me, you petty tyrant! He wrenches an arm free, wheels back, and slugs the corporal in the face. The corporal reels, draws his sword, and puts the pommel into the back of Maximus' skull. He tumbles to the ground by the fire. Another warden speaks, moving to Maximus. Corporal, sheath that fucking sword or I'll have it off you. Yes, ma'am, Lieutenant Commander Ekströmer. She reaches a hand down, offering to help Maximus. Anthony, why the fuck are we evacuating the building? The order was to destroy the text and move on. All due respect, Lieutenant Commander. Imperial intention was clear. No remnant of these false gods are to be tolerated. It is a building, Lieutenant. It is an idea. Ma'am. Maximus struggles to his feet, spits blood upon the pyre, and lunges to the door. You put torch to this place, and I swear I will lock myself in the highest tower. A grim smile smears across his teeth. When that smoke clears, you'll have destroyed a building, and you'll have made a martyr of this city's foremost cleric. I swear to Pandar, you'll have him right into the streets for me, Anthony. Lieutenant Monsieur Anthony snarls, wipes his soot-stained brow. Arm outstretched, he puts a hand on a bust of Pandar at the base of the temple steps. Veins burst from his fingers, surround the ornament, and crush it into dust. Wardens, fall back. We're done here. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Unbalanced Encounters, the only show that dares to ask, how many library heists does it take to get to the center of autocracy? I'm your host, Patrick Breedy. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Craig, you like that little bit of backstory about your mom and dad?
You know, if there's one thing you want to know about your parents, it's that your mama likes them crazy.
Ooh, you're not wrong.
Mama Ekströmer saw that man say he was about to burn himself alive in a building, and she was like, "Ooh, I want
That's
that
hot.
one."
That's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. That's hot boy shit. She said that's hot boy shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, almost literally. That could have gone a very different way.
Oh, that's so funny.
boy. Yeah. How y'all doing? Y'all feeling good about setting libraries on fire?
Yes.
Burn it down. Burn it all down.
I mean, right now I might find my true love. Who fucking knows? Let's do it. Let's burn it up.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Isaac's going to be looking for the one person running back into the building.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
There she goes.
It's hereditary, actually. Yeah, so you guys are burning down a library, and we're going to resolve that here in a little bit. But before we do, we are going to flashback. Cinder, I have a question for you. Where was the first time that you encountered Martin?
I would have met Martin on the not the very first time, the very last time.
Yeah.
The crate that I was being transported in for a while was opened up, and Martin and I and a handful of other, I don't think I would have recognized or thought about what they would have been, but maybe wardens or maybe just people that we were traveling with. We're making our way from Altair to Raleigh.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we find ourselves in a room that we've actually seen very, very recently. At the moment, it is not adorned with the head of our beloved Porky, but it is still the armory of Altair. And Guard, I think you hear a sound that you have come to associate with needing to be at attention. The sound of nails pulled from wood and the front of this crate being removed. And every time it has happened so far, it has been done slowly, cautiously. These are people who are expecting to reuse this crate, not wanting to jostle the merchandise. And the first thing that you see when the lid is lifted is the face, blue face, of a half-orc. All right, looks like everything is ship-shape. Gentlemen, and he takes a step back and you see that there are 5 soldiers, seemingly of fairly low rank. Your role is clear. You are to escort this automaton to Valenka, where you are going to meet up with the one other person who has been recruited to lead the rally expedition. At which point, the automaton will be given over specifically to Private Von Winkleberry III, and our newest recruit, and he snaps a piece of paper, a ranger named Harissa. Any questions? And I'm curious how Guard is interacting with this moment, if at all.
To anyone that's watching, Guard is just not moving. He basically just looks like a statue standing in the crate. But very, very faintly, maybe a millimeter or so, he just cocks his head a little bit from one side to the other and just kind of eyes the troop he's going to be traveling with.
Give me an insight check.
That is a 9.
You have not had a lot of cause to interact with people. But most of the people that you have interacted with are dressed in a way that you can sort of pattern recognize as being very precise. And they are dressed in ways that do not appear to be defensive in the way that your body is hard. These men don't fit that pattern. And that's, I think, maybe a little odd. I don't know that you know what to make of that, but it is different. These men are wearing clothes that remind you of the form that you currently inhabit.
Mm-hmm.
The half-orc puts the lid back on, nails the nails shut, and everything goes dark again for a moment. And then it's later, and the crate is opened again. and you see a man in a helmet that is too big, and a mustache that is unkempt, sunken, gray-green eyes. I don't rightly know that I understand this position at all, but I figure if I'm going to be the steward of this... And he stands up a little bit straighter, trying to push confidence into his own bones. I should understand what it is that I'm moving. And he goes to, like, rotate your head slightly. What do you do?
I put my hand on his head.
What in the name of their holiness is going on here?
Can I help you?
You can talk,
Yes.
but you don't... Your mouth doesn't seem to be moving.
I just look at him for a minute.
Forgive me, I did not mean to offend. I simply wanted to understand and ascertain the nature of the automaton that I was about to be tasked to protect.
Identify yourself.
He snaps to attention, throws you a salute. My name is Private Martin von Wiggleberry III. Do you outrank me? That would be so strange. Do you have a rank? Do you have a name?
I am to guard.
Suppose I shall call you guard, then. That seems reasonable.
Have we made it to the location? And I sort of look around.
No. This is still the Imperial Armory. I would not abscond with you without orders and necessary precautions. I simply... I'm not sure how much you know about what we are about to do, but I have been made responsible for your safekeeping as we travel to a very remote place up in the Western Wealds called Raleigh. And the journey will be long and it will be fraught, and I simply wanted to make sure that I was as informed as I could possibly be so that we could make the journey unassailed.
I lean forward, sort of put my head closer to his. You look uncertain. Are you afraid?
A soldier in their in their holiness's army? No, never. We must not show fear. We must be brave in the face of all that we do not know.
Are you concerned that we shall not survive the journey?
The journey shall be long and it shall be treacherous, but these are the things that heroes are made of. These are the things that...
I take my hand and I put it on his head again, but not like aggressively. I just sort of do like a little like to try to like almost like to like calm down like a cat or something.
Yeah, sure.
Do not be afraid. I will make sure we get there safely. I will take care of you.
No. You must understand the chain of command. It's going to be my responsibility to ensure that you arrive there unharmed.
I am to guard. If it is yours to get me to the location, until we get there, I will guard you.
I'm gonna roll a little insight check here, and I'm gonna flip the script on us a little bit.
Flipping the script. We're going off script, guys.
Going off book, baby. Martin just got an 8 on an insight check. I'm curious what you think he reads on an 8.
Maybe he thinks that guard is like a little like a machine that's not working right,
yeah.
And it's just sort of like doing. It's like just sort of saying this, like it's not understanding what's happening, like it doesn't understand like the protocol.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh, I'm the guard. Okay, so it's time to guard, which I think is a little bit true, but in actuality, it's also guard being like, oh, I'm gonna be the one that keeps us safe on this journey, not you.
And I think with that, we cut to a fight. Harissa,
Hello.
you are level 1.
What?
How dare you? I fought so hard to get here.
You are level 1, and you are alone with Martin, a mule, and a crate. You have been ambushed by bandits. They are taking pot shots at you from just over the berm of the sort of defined dirt road here. You cannot see them to get a hit in. I want you to describe where you are, given that you have a mule, a cart, a crate, and then I'll tell you what Martin's doing.
Is the crate on the cart being pulled by the mule, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, I am on the opposite side of the cart and crate to the offenders, if they're
Okay.
like...
So you're like using the cart as cover?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm going to go
It's
ahead and
a
say
big
that you have
wooden
3/4
shield,
cover.
so-
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Martin is standing in between the
He is.
bandits and the
Yes.
cart.
Makes
He
sense.
has his tiny, shitty little buckler raised, his like fencing rapier drawn, and this is the first time that you realize that they didn't give him a real weapon. He is using his student rapier.
He's using a kendo stick, is what he's basically
Basically,
using in this
yeah.
Bro didn't even graduate right. Like, come
Like a
on.
foam sword? Oh my god.
Like, it is metal. It is metal. It's just not gonna
Has
hurt
it still got the
anyone.
rubber end, like, you know,
It's
for
definitely
safety?
it doesn't have a rubber end, but you definitely see that like the blacksmith that made this like took a hammer and batted the point down.
Blunted the end,
yeah,
sure.
100%. 100%. And he is standing there absolutely fucking trembling. I need you to please roll initiative, guard you as well.
Oh my goodness.
And remember you're level 1.
Well, that's right. I got a 6 on my...
I got a 17.
nice.
Oh wow. Cool. The bandits are going to attack Martin and guard.
Am I in
Guard,
the
they're
crate?
in the crate, so they're just
gonna say,
shooting
guard
at
has,
the
like,
crate.
full
Guard has full
cover.
cover. Yeah, guard has full
Yeah.
cover.
I don't know what's happening.
It's like, is it raining? What the fuck?
2 arrows hit Martin, one in the shield, and so he soaks one, and then the other just goes straight into his right thigh, and he just goes, "Oh, I'm hit." Guard. 3 arrows
down.
sink into the wood like 2 inches from your head. And you can see a little bit of light coming in around them. Those are the bandits. Now it is your turn.
The filigree on my armor in the darkness of the crate vroom, starts to glow a little bit with this sort of pulsing red. And I go from not moving to a full sprint through the side of the crate in the direction that the arrows came from.
Literal god-shaped hole. Amazing.
He just Kool-Aid Man through all that.
Give me an athletics check, and if you are raging, that's obviously going to be at advantage.
Over 20.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Through
yeah,
through the wood of this crate, you're gonna pass Martin to get to the bandits. Do you want to do anything with Martin as you're running past him?
I smash through the crate, and with one hand, I reach behind me to pull out my standard Imperial war axe.
Yep.
And then with the other hand, I grab Martin by the scruff of the neck as I go past him and
Yeah.
put him behind me.
Yeah, 100%. He just slips
But then I keep
behind
moving
you.
forward, and it's basically one movement. One hand grabbing Martin, one hand grabbing the axe.
Yeah.
Putting him behind me as I start swinging the axe forward towards whatever was shooting arrows. I'm not even really thinking about it.
Okay, are you gonna attack? You sort of get down over this berm. There are two bandits in this little kind of gutter beside the road.
I would like to try to cut one down if possible.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, that was a natural one.
Guard, you bring your axe down a second too quick, and your footing slips, and you fall into this little gutter by the side of the road. You are now prone. Harissa,
Yes.
you've never seen Guard in your life.
See, I'm behind the crate and the wagon, and I'm just like, fuck's sake, just like slowly pulling out like things. I hear a crunch and a crash behind me, and I'm like, I don't want to know what that is. I'm just gonna get my shit ready to aim. All right. And then I kind of go around the edge of the wagon, pulling my bow, and then I see this thing flying towards them and then just falling onto the floor. And then I look at the box and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look at Martin and go, what the fuck? Martin, for the love of God, get the donkey behind the wagon.
Yes, Sergeant Harissa, ma'am. Again, he keeps calling you sergeant. You're not a sergeant. You're effectively a mercenary.
I've got sergeant, captain. I think I've got all of the titles. I don't get this one.
Okay, you gonna take an attack?
Yeah, 17 flat.
Okay,
on
flat
attack.
17 absolutely hits.
Yeah.
You gonna throw sharpshooter on it? You can go ahead and hit.
I wasn't doing sharpshooter. I was just
If
doing
you do,
basic
it'll
bitch.
still hit.
Oh, okay. All right. 18 damage.
You shoot one guy through the eye. He drops to the ground dead.
Nice.
There is one more. He stands up. He turns his bow on Safra and then points down at guard and then back up at Safra.
I don't know what to do.
Does the math that whatever the fuck guard is, it was in the crate, and so therefore it's the valuables, and shoots Harissa.
Yeah, tracks.
Does a 17 hit?
It would have at the
Probably.
time, yes.
Yes, cool. Harissa, you take 6 points of damage. Presumably you are still up, and it is over to guard.
I will stand up.
Yeah.
Is there enough space for me to get a full swing of my axe in this little pit I've fallen in?
Absolutely.
I imagine that guard standing up is probably very unnatural looking, sort of like if you've ever seen any of those like robots that are like the super advanced one stands up so their like legs bend backwards and they kind of like pull themselves up like that.
I hate that.
100%.
I am going to look down at the bandit who just shot at Harissa and whoop, try to just bring my axe down on his head. 18.
Yay.
And 18 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
10 damage.
You chop his head off. Clean sweep.
Nice. Starting a trend.
I then put my axe on my back, shunk, put my hands up, and lift myself up out of the crevasse. Is everyone all right?
Well, I seem to have taken an arrow to the knee.
Martin, shut up.
That's when I leave the. Bye, guys. It's been great. It's been a great podcast.
Get the fuck
A whole
out.
year of glorious.
Two
Yeah, I'm done.
years building to that joke,
done.
baby.
I'm
Two.
When you say, Martin, shut the fuck up, I turn to you very quickly and say, do you have medical knowledge?
Some?
Dress his wound.
I'm sorry. What? Who are you?
I am to guard. Dress his wound.
All right, to God. Did you come out of the box?
Yes.
Huh. So you're the...
I will not ask you again.
Harissa puts her hands on her hips. If you are a part of this contingency and you're from and a part of the Empire, you technically belong to me at this moment.
He is bleeding out.
I understand. He'll be fine. I'm in charge of both Martin and everything that is on the wagon. That includes you. I will dress his wounds. But you will be taking orders from me. Do I make that clear?
I step forward to Harissa. I answer to the Empressar. If your orders align with mine, then I am happy to follow them. If they do not align, then we shall have a problem. Now, dress his wounds.
Lucky for you, I don't get paid enough to argue with large stone sentient creatures. But we do align in the same way. I work for the Empressar in the same way that you do. We're on the same side. I will tend his wounds, but just be careful how you speak to me. And I'm just going to go around and kick Martin over and start doing what I need to do.
Oh.
Why the hell were you out the front, you fucking idiot? God damn it.
When Harissa says, be careful how you speak to me, and, like, storms off, Guard's, like, aggressive stance, like, shifts just a little bit, as for the very first time in his entire existence, he thought about how tone might be something that matters to people that he, in a way, he doesn't understand.
Nice. He's like, wait, it's not what I said, it's how I said it. I see.
That's not a concept he's ever thought about before.
The more you know.
As you begin to bandage, as you pull the arrow out of Martin's thigh, and you begin to bandage his wound, you see he's kind of got this sickly gray color to his skin. He has lost a fair amount of blood. You ask him what the hell he was doing out in front of the cart, and he responds, It was my orders to make sure that Guard arrived safely at Raleigh. I needed to do my job.
How do you expect to do your job when you're dead?
I overextended. It won't happen again.
Yes, let's think smart in future instead of unnecessarily heroic.
He gets a little crestfallen at that, but he does seem to listen.
As you are helping Martin and you guys are talking, Guard very meticulously picks up all of the parts of the broken crate, puts them back on the wagon so that we can continue to bring everything we need to Raleigh. I will be walking with you alongside the wagon for the rest of the trip.
That's fine by me.
In case there is more trouble.
All right, Martin, you'll be up on the donkey for a little while.
Yes, ma'am.
I have arranged the package, and I gesture to the pile of broken wood that I put back on the crate, on the cart.
And I think you guys get Martin up onto the cart and start moving in the direction of Raleigh again. And I don't think there's a lot of talking. I think it's a bit of a tense moment, but it is very gently broken by Martin in a moment where Guard has sort of hung back alongside the cart and Harissa has stormed off a ways in front of it. Thank you, God. I appreciate what you did for me back there.
You do not need to thank me. I am to Guard. I told you that I would make sure you stayed safe.
And with that, we cut. You have been wrestling with Martin, who has been giving you indication that he is going to effectively report this as what he believes to effectively be a terrorist attack by wanted fugitives on Imperial holdings, right? You have found out that he knows something about a plan, a contingency plan handed down from High Scepter. You've been trying to get that information out of him while threatening him into letting you all go. And he resisted, and he refused, and he was more afraid of High Scepter than he was of you. And then you jammed his bottle of sap into his mouth and effectively crushed it down his throat, killing him, and then immediately causing a wild magic surge, which brought him back to life at 1 hit point.
Right, yeah.
And you now have your hand, your big tortoise hand, on his chest, effectively. And he is absolutely fucking trembling.
Should we try again?
He chokes a little. Reaches up, wipes a little blood from the corner of his mouth. Feels it slick on his hand as it mixes with the sap. And a glimmer of recognition flashes across his eyes toward you for the first time. Guard?
Hello, Martin.
What are you doing here? What are any of you doing here?
I think you should come with us. Or die.
All right. No. I promised to give my life for the Empressar, and I guess I've done that once already. If you'll have me as your hostage, I suppose I have no choice.
With my hand that has sort of shifted into this massive gnarled raven claw, I am going to very faintly just poke him on the chest with the large talon.
Yeah.
Try anything, and I'll kill you again.
Understood.
Follow me. And then I will start taking him to the crew.
Do you? So you guys are still up on the mezzanine. Do you? And both stairs are actually on fire now. Do you jump down with him?
Yeah, I guess I'll just grab him by the scruff of his neck and jump down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing. You boom, leap down into the center of this library.
Are we still in initiative?
I'm taking us out of initiative.
Because I'll interact with guard if.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to capture,
Is that okay?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because you just saw. Okay, so you saw that whole interaction
With
of
Martin.
me just having that conversation with Martin. Before I jump down, we are standing next to each other. So if you want to,
You see guard kind of take him by the scruff of his neck and get ready to jump. What do you do?
She runs over and she has her whistle in her mouth because she was ready to blow it.
Oh shit!
Guard, we got to get out of here. But and can I see the people that are fat bottom down there as well? Like I can see all
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Fat bottom. We got to try to get out of here quietly. This is too much of a mess. Can you carry him? And she'll point up to the window.
Good call, June. I'll pick up Martin like fireman style and then start Spider-Manning up the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me stealth with advantage. And June, are you going to be climbing up as well?
I am.
Okay, go ahead and roll me. I'm going to have you roll me acrobatics. And it's going to be a flat roll.
Can Spinks help in any way? Because Spinks is up there too.
Is Spinks up there too?
He can just fly out the window, so I'm not worried about him getting out. But
let's
can
go
he
ahead
help?
Yeah, we can give June advantage on that with help action.
Great.
Thank you.
I got an 18 on my stealth check.
Amazing.
Okay, cool.
Spinks is fanning the flames, getting the smoke to like obscure you guys. It's okay. It's all right. I got it.
I've done this before.
What's that acrobatics, June?
26.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I want to use guard to like fling myself.
I think you just kick off of his shoulder, get up
Nice.
to like a high sconce, and then whip yourself up, put your foot through the plate glass, and are just out the window. And there's a beat where guard like sees Spinks fanning these fanning this smoke, and then just hands and feet into the wall, straight up through the open window.
I love how it's like literally Venom and Spider-Man. Like Guard is Venom climbing up, and June is literally Spider-Man, just like whoop, 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 whoop. So out of that window. So good.
As long as I'm Tom
Badass.
Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Sure,
Yes.
fine. Take your pick.
I'll take Tobey Maguire as well. That one's fine.
Poor Andrew Garfield. Jesus.
I was about to
Listen.
say, you're probably Garfield's
This is-
age.
if we're doing fuck-
June is probably there.
If we're doing fuck, marry, kill, Garfield is who I'm marrying. So I don't want to.
Yeah, fair.
All right, I accept.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'm not going to ask about the other two.
Tobey Maguire's on my hit
There's
list.
not a good answer to breaking that down in any other way. And the two of you are outside of this window. You kind of get up onto the roof of this building. Getting down is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be one we're going to address here momentarily. It is chaos in the floor of this library, and the smoke is starting to grow thick and heavy in the evening air. What do the two of you do, Isaac and Safra?
I was going to say, are there any more people in here?
Definitely Thick Bottom and the Warden. You can give me investigation to see if anybody else is there.
Gladly. I'm sorry. Gladly.
And my name is Barbara. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
That would be a wonderful, unnatural one.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
All right, everyone, cleared out. Well, let's in an orderly fashion, please. If you, as I put my hat back on, so I'm back in
good.
fancy schmancy mode.
100%. The two of you just trying to get out?
Yeah, I think Spinks is going to continue to just like make it look really bad in there, just to kind of rush people out.
Sure.
I will do an investigation check myself just to see if I can see anyone as well.
Okay. Also, is Spinks actively lighting more shit on fire?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? He's probably gotten a bit carried away, so he's like, whoops.
He's starting to look like the guy in Fantasia. The big, like, dragon thing.
Yes. Because, he has some fire immunity, so... Anyway.
What's your investigation?
9. So...
Yeah, you think...
There's too much smoke.
You're less convinced, but you also realize that conducting a thorough search will be suicide, so...
Yeah, that's fair. That
Barbara, we must leave expeditiously.
You're right. Sir, let us leave.
One more.
Both of you give me stealth checks with advantage, please.
Saffron, I'm gonna need you to really get in the mode of our scene. This is a dire moment.
I'm so sorry.
Your voice is going way off. We gotta focus now. Come on.
It's the smoke.
That's a 2.
Cool.
Am I doing stealth? Sorry. I got a 12. So it's just...
As you rush out the front door, you see the warden spin around, clock both of you leaving, and connect something.
Oh no.
Oh, great heavens, woman! Behind you! And I will summon CJ behind the warden and just stampede through this freaking museum.
I mean, you're definitely going to add some
funny.
confusion to the situation. That's for damn sure. She turns around and starts chasing a pig.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. I don't know how long CJ
You don't have to tell me
distract
twice.
her.
All right,
That's amazing.
All right.
That's a good use.
And Spinks is going to fly out the window as well.
We are going to jump back to the basement of the bakery, the safe house that is near the university. But before we do, I need someone to volunteer to roll me a D4.
I'll do it.
You've been rolling pretty well today, so
That's a 3.
Okay. As you all make your way back into the safe house, you all get a little telepathic message from Scarab informing you that some of their sources are seeing evidence of blight, more of this wild magic happening further from the Museum of Antiquities, another 3 miles in radius. And you all make your way back to the safe house.
I do say that was a wonderful good show by everyone here.
all right,
What in the fuck is this voice?
Carry on.
Hold on, I gotta get this damn hat off. Oh, it's like it took hold of my mind. Whew. All right, well, we can...
Did the girl make it back?
She did? Does anybody want to tell me why the fuck the library is on fire?
Books are flammable, apparently.
Books are flammable, apparently.
We needed a pretty heavy-duty distraction.
What happened to the dragon statue idea?
Well, it worked. It got us in.
I mean, I think Agard and I were pretty good.
No, spot on. Unlike some people, y'all knew how to stay in character. As he's looking at
Listen, accents are not my forte, okay?
I can tell.
I didn't even know my name was Barbara until you said it to me on the steps of the damn
it's
place.
improv. It's more of a yes and thing, you know.
Zephyr, you've got to be able to commit to the bit.
Wait a minute.
Jesus.
Fucking hell.
And I turn to June, and I point at Harissa. Did you know her name was Barbara?
See? Yes and. See, God got it.
Okay,
What
all
else
right.
aren't you telling us?
Can we fucking focus? Who is this?
Oh.
This is Martin. I pick him up.
Yeah,
I just hold him in front like a little puppy.
Okay. Please tell me that you brought him with you because everyone else died in the fire and there's no one left to have seen you. I'm going to fucking kill all of you myself.
We could tell you that.
Do you want to hear that?
Good God, good.
I don't think anyone saw them leave, if that helps you. They saw us leave, hence the distraction and everything. They escaped unseen.
And he knows secrets.
Secrets. Imperial secrets. Right. All right.
Not to mention they're chasing a big-ass boar through what's left of the library.
You sent CJ in?
Well, CJ, you know, he wanted to be a part of the entertainment for the evening, so I let him run wild out there. He's having a fun time. Oh, he just ran through an alley, trampled some people. Oh, that kid's crazy.
Can you just see in your mind's eye what he's doing?
I think that's telepathically they can talk to me, yeah.
Just have Isaac zone out for a minute and you just say, yeah. Just like a grin on his face.
I have a very important question. Normally we give CJ a little bit of a makeover when we're in a radically new place. But I think bigger things have changed for Isaac since then. What does CJ look like now?
Sappher probably didn't see it throughout the smoke, but Isaac knows what it looks like. A cacophony of vines and bone. Just wrapped around, and the tusks are bone themselves, but like basically split out of the vines. And that was CJ.
Rami gestures and says, okay, all right, okay. There are probably going to be consequences for the way in which you all decided to undertake this particular initiative. You should probably get back.
Yeah, if anybody hears a clapping sound, that's when we know they found us. All right, let's get out of here.
Clapping sound?
Bringing it back.
I need y'all to know
Clapping
that Cinder,
cheeks, and I was like, oh, wait.
Cinder figured it out first because I saw him cover his mouth like, oh, God.
Very good.
Because for any folks out there that might not get the joke yet, it is because sometimes when one has a thick bottom, those cheeks might get clapped a little bit just through the nature of running or bouncing.
It's true.
That's what Craig told me about on TikTok anyway. I haven't seen any of it.
Yes, accurate.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, we're serious now. We're rebels. We're starting a revolution. It's gonna be great.
Thick bottom revolution.
There we go.
I love it.
Claps heard around the world. Let's go.
For anybody that questions the value of becoming a supporter of our channel, whoever made that name has dramatically impacted some of the more intense parts of this show.
Honestly.
Actually.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
I think that was Lucas Carter for
Well,
Percival Thick Bottom. So thank you
good
again,
on you, buddy.
Lucas
Thanks,
Carter.
Good on,
Lucas.
Lucas.
Yes, bravo.
All right. And you all descend into the sewers. And we are obviously very kind of focused in to the moment to moment here. And so I kind of want to treat this as a little bit of travel time and offer up if anyone wants to pull anyone else aside and have a conversation. Now would be a very good time.
I would. While we're walking along, I'm imagining Guard is carrying Martin.
I think that once we get to like a place where we're all sort of together, if he can walk, I'm happy to have him walk. But if it's easier to carry him, I'll carry him.
No, he can walk. He can absolutely walk.
So June's going to walk over beside Guard. You know, I saw everything that was going on back there in the library between you and Martin. It was pretty intense.
Was it too intense?
I don't know. It was the most intense I've seen you. Do you want to talk about it?
When I first got to Rally and I would patrol, I would do things like that all the time. I think being here, so close to this thing, this mission, killing the Empressar, it is easy for me to fall into old patterns of shortest path being the most efficient. If that is not appropriate, or it makes you uncomfortable, I can adjust.
Don't get me wrong. I'm all for, breaking teeth and cracking skulls. It's not that it made me uncomfortable. Because I also, listen, Martin is the fucking worst. It was in an intensity that, I don't know, it felt like something different coming out of you. And I don't know that's necessarily bad. I just wanted to know if you needed to talk about it. And I'm here if you need it.
I think one thing that is new for me is fear. And I sort of look back to the group with Martin. I think that knowing that something he knows could put you in danger, and not knowing what that thing is, frightens me. I do not like feeling fear. Maybe that is what came out.
It's a very mortal feeling. But we can't let it control us either. It can really blindside us. You know what I mean?
I think so.
And she'll scramble up onto Guard's shoulders and say, "Watch this." And she'll project her echo and place it behind Martin and have it trip Martin from the back of his heel.
I was about to have a conversation with him, and I guess it falls on his face.
I kind of want to. We're gonna yes.
Yeah.
If you want to have a conversation with him simultaneous to Garden June's conversation, we can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And then just wah.
Yeah.
Hey, look what the city done dragged out.
Isaac?
Well. Last time I saw you, you had your tail between your legs running away from my town.
I was hogtied to the side of your boar, I think you'll remember.
Yeah, same difference. What you doing here?
What I have been trying to do from before I met you, Ekströmer. My duty. I'm trying to live up to my family name. I'm trying to achieve some sense of honor.
How's that working out for you?
Well, weirdly, Guard had to intervene again.
What do you think honor is, since you've been looking for it for most of your life?
Honor is fulfilling one's destiny, serving an idea greater than oneself.
Idea greater than oneself. Well, Martin, I'm gonna be real with you. There's a lot of things greater than you, so I feel like you can pick and choose whatever you want.
The Empressar is the leader of the world. They are a living god, and the only one that keeps the best interest of us mortals at heart. I can think of no honor greater than being able to serve them in their mission.
Let's be real, Martin. You know I'm a class A bullshitter.
Mm-hmm.
And being one of those, I feel as though you would be smart enough to understand when I know when somebody's just talking out their ass.
What's it like not having anything to commit yourself to?
What the f...
Martin's grown some cojones!
Yeah. Martin's choosing death right now. He's choosing violence.
See, you look at it as me just not being able to align myself with something greater than me. I see my journey as the greatness itself, and no matter where I go or what I do, it is my purpose because I choose it to be. I am the leader of my own destiny.
When everything that you do is intrinsically right because it is something that you have chosen to do, how can you ever trust that it actually is right?
That's life. You try. If you fail, you learn. And if you succeed, you keep living. Who am I to try and put all my marbles in a situation or a entity that I don't truly understand? There's only one entity that I might be even close to understanding. And I deal with that son of a bitch every day. If you always got that fear of what if I'm doing this wrong for your entire life, how are you going to truly find any happiness in anything that you do?
You know, an hour ago I would have said by accepting that it is out of my hands.
Yeah, well, now you're a hostage in a terrorist organization, so things kind of change.
Isaac, you were in charge of a prosperous town with good and safe people looking to you for guidance. You run away from your past, as I've come to find out. That's not an easy thing to do. You chose to blow it up, to leave it all behind. Why?
Because for the first time, I felt my purpose, my will for what I needed to do led me to something greater. And I'll step up to him. I'm assuming Martin's a little bit shorter than Isaac. If any choices in that small-willed soul of yours makes you feel as though you should stand in the way of my purpose, I'll make sure you understand how strong my will is to get the job done. Do we have an understanding?
You always were the most smug son of a whap! And he falls on his face.
Yeah.
Take that as a yes.
Hello? Is this thing on? Oh, good. Hi, everybody. It's your old friend, Reevesy Hoppaswalla. Speaks had some scheduled vacation time, so I'm taking over the mid-roll. I'm not really sure what any of that means, but I'm here to tell you that you should go and join the Discord for Unbalanced Encounters. Apparently, a Discord is like a club, see? And everybody seems to be hanging out and having a good time. And every now and then, they've been running these secret underground fights. They tell me it's a Dungeons and Dragons Battle Royale, or whatever that means, where the rally cast and some of the community members have been fighting tournament style to see who the most powerful Dungeons and Dragonser is. It sounds like a lot of fun, so if you're interested in that or things of that ilk, you can go to discord.gg/unbalanced encounters. And in the meantime, hey, thanks for listening to this episode. I'm sure everybody who works on it is real appreciative. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here, alright? Bye.
God, what is it, 6 of you, 7 of you at this point?
Strong revolution here.
Reemerge in the husk of the Imperial Heritage Museum. And it is still as you left it. It is filled with the husks of attendees and the debris of blight. You all make your way down the stairs to the cloister, where Scarab is once again holding court. The Sapphire Sun novice has unfurled the scroll, the diagram of the Imperial Palace. There is a small meeting poring over it. We have successfully commandeered the plans for the Imperial Palace. I'm not entirely sure what the ramifications are going to be of burning down the university library. That probably won't end well. But we haven't been caught yet, so perhaps we have first mover advantage.
If anything, it might keep some wardens busy for a little while. If they're going to be trying to figure out what happened at the university, we may have an opening somewhere else.
And with the burning of all whatever was in there, maybe they're not as worried about a missing map or two.
I think we grabbed the only person that recognized us.
And they know more.
Is Martin in the room with you?
Yeah.
There was the sort of antechamber, right, on the other side of this door, and I think that given the greeting that you guys had last time where you had to undergo, like, the detect thoughts scrutiny, that might be a bit of a process that you want to put him through.
Mm-hmm.
So as to not have everyone blown up instantaneously.
I will go get Martin.
Before Guard goes to get Martin, can I give him a strip of cloth and hand it to Guard? Cover his eyes.
That is very smart.
Don't worry, everyone. He's a complete and utter coward.
You blindfold Martin and bring him into the room, and everyone is duly concerned about bringing an Imperial soldier into this space, but very clearly you have a hold of him, and the information seems to get everyone's attention. Scarab plumbs the depth of his mind, being very careful not to open up any telepathic communication into the broad network that Scarab is the nexus of, and finds that Isaac is generally correct. That Martin is afraid. First and foremost, afraid that he might fail. All right. What information does this here Imperial soldier have that is so worthwhile? Katerin sort of shifts in her seat.
June will clap her hands together and rub her palms.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get going. And she'll go in front of Martin and she'll slap her hand down on his shoulder. Her left hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
As a unarmed strike.
Yeah, fuck yeah, roll it.
Oh man, that was so close to a natural 20. 21. With her bond hand, she'll reach into his chest and pluck one of his bond strands for extort truth.
Ask away.
Where are the drugs?
I just had a sudden flashback to the mango smoothies that we had.
Oh my god.
Isaac pulls the sunglasses out, puts them back on. I'm in my right element. All right. Sitting in this chair.
This only works if June asks the question. So.
I was thinking of something though. What if the Empressar and all their lackeys choose to use Martin like we used Martin? Would he really know anything of use?
He referenced a plan. Isn't that right? And I turned to Martin.
He nods.
And he wouldn't tell me what it was.
Martin, tell us the plan that you were referencing earlier to guard.
All of the wardens and soldiers in this city have standing orders. There is a contingency command that could potentially go out at any moment in the case of, well, an attack not unlike this one. If the Empressar is deemed to be in threat at any time, we are to use our discretion to terminate problematic elements. Specifically by consuming the sap that Guard has, well, leveraged both for and against me. We've all been taught a single spell and are to focus on it while we consume the sap as a way to bolster our individual strengths and allow us to carry out the orders.
What's that spell?
It is a spell that improves our lethal potentiality with a sword.
So it makes you super soldiers.
I suppose so, yes.
And this order to eliminate or terminate, exactly what were you supposed to terminate?
That is left to our discretion. Anyone or anything that we deem to be a problematic element. Anyone that we think might be connected to the resistance in any way.
Why do I get the feeling that if this order goes through, these coked up super soldiers are just going to be mindlessly slaying anyone they come across? And with the excuse that they are, they looked shady, they looked like they had some kind of terrorist anything. I just...
APAB. Sorry, I thought it was a sneeze. I don't know what's going on. Well, if it is, then we need to find out how to end it, to stop it. Maybe it's similar to what happened to God that one time when he almost killed me.
Oh, yeah. So basically, we need a way to stop the network, like the way they communicate, or
Maybe it's a hive mind. Bunch of vines that shoot out all over the place. And
Point of clarification: are you guys having this conversation verbally or telepathically?
we can do that?
Yeah, you're within 30 feet.
Oh, that's right. Scarab.
So, yeah.
They're awesome.
You hear it in your head, Isaac. Yeah, we can still do that. I can even make noises I can't normally make.
Were you guys having that conversation verbally or telepathically?
I'm gonna say telepathically.
It's like God's voice is like smooth jazz in here. It's very, very nice.
The Sphinx just like, welcome to Radio Sphinx.
What the hell is a radio, Mr. Sphinx?
And now we have God with the weather.
Well, when one is wondering about weathers, it is important to think about how that is usually because there are multiple choices you are making, and you're deciding whether you should use one or the other.
Is this B-roll? What's happening right now?
Oh my god.
All right.
Now to June with sports.
Safra has asked, I think, a very germane question of how this order may be given.
Yeah, basically just like it, like this Order 66, basically that we're talking about here. Like when
Sick reference.
shit hits the fan, they're just gonna be like, kill all the Jedi. Like how do we stop that order from reaching all of the people?
All the Paladins?
Mm.
I don't think we can. I think the wardens of this space are just that devout to the Empressar. I mean, look at Martin's dumbass. You had to kill him in order for him to not do anything.
Martin, are you are you able to communicate with Empressar?
No, of course not. Not without seeking an audience through the proper channels.
Who can?
Well, obviously the High Scepter has regular correspondence with the Empressar. Above and beyond that, you could seek an audience. I am told that they are very typically veiled or otherwise obscured during these audiences, but it is the nature of living divinity, I suppose.
June, can you ask him how would he get these orders? Who would give him the orders if everything were to go bad?
I'll ask him that.
Well, I thought that guard might be the messenger earlier when I had yet to identify his identity. I suppose it could arrive by Guardian. It could arrive by Klaxon, for all I know.
What do you mean it could arrive by Guardian? Have you seen other Guardians under the Empressar's control?
I've heard stories. I can't say that I've seen much of anything. My station is limited to, well, it was to cleaning up the blight, but that didn't go so well.
Cleaning up the blight? How were you supposed to do that?
By any means necessary, was the order.
So are we talking clean up with a broom? Or clean up as in, let's get rid of all of the people who may be a little bit now tainted by this blight?
My purview did not extend to the eradication of anyone who might be affected. We were supposed to evacuate homes, and we did within a limited capacity, and then we were supposed to stop the ever-creeping fallout from the museum.
By any means possible is nothing. That like what did God? I hate that I'm asking you this because I feel like you don't fucking know. What did you interpret that as?
Well, figure out its origination and find a way to put a stop to it. Of course.
How far did you get with that?
Not very. I'm told that Scepter pulled me off of the job relatively quickly. They were not too pleased with how little progress I had made within about a day and a half.
Oh, Martin. You're getting fired as many times as I have been.
I gotta get you a job you can actually do.
Yeah.
I said that in my head. He's just giving him a stank eye, like, really?
I did have what might be a bit of an impertinent question, given the circumstances. Are you related to Griffin Axtrummer, Isaac?
Blue guy. Tuss.
Well, yes.
Younger version of me.
I did see a bit of a family resemblance, yes.
He takes like a pebble or something and chucks it at his forehead. The fuck you think?
Well,
actually, no, I appreciate that. Not just not assuming. I appreciate that, Martin. Thank you.
He was my commanding officer. He was the liaison to the Blood Wardens that I was to report to on this particular job. He was the one who chose me.
He chose you? Like, willingly?
So I'm told.
I feel like Isaac thinks that he's questioning why he thinks Griffin is basically, he's capable of understanding that Martin is not a worthy individual to recruit. So now he's thinking, why did he want this mission to fail type thing? Is that why he brought mine?
What a good question.
Yeah, I guess he has a good eye for good soldiers.
I will also say, Isaac, this is the first time that you're hearing that Griffin is alive and in Altair. You've been told that he came down here several years ago, but this is the first you're hearing that he's still here and that he's part of the Blood Wardens.
All right. So, my baby brother's somewhere out there with a big bad button of sorts for all of his troops. I guess I could probably have a conversation with him if I can find him and say, hey, don't press said button. I'd appreciate that. Or we continue looking at this map and seeing how we can set that up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be able to get into the palace to have a conversation with him without the, setting off the big bad button, as you so eloquently put it.
Oh, yeah, you think? I knew that. I didn't daze off and wasn't paying attention to half the conversation. Focus.
Did Griffin know that you were in Raleigh?
No, everyone thought I was dead. Except Mama. You used to write her letters saying, hey, I'm dead, but miss you cooking.
Martin, did you tell Griffin that you knew Isaac Axtrummer?
I didn't think that it would be in my best interest to admit that particular fact.
Martin actually being a bit smart there for a minute.
You guys can all roll insight if you'd like.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'm good at insight now. No, I'm not.
Oh, wait.
I got a 10.
I got an 8, so you did better than
Oh my god.
I got a 21.
June is the only one who's just like, I'm fucking watching you.
This is the only time June has succeeded
so
in an interrogation.
June, you see that the bond that you've got kind of curled in your fingers, compelling him to tell the truth, is tied to the one connecting him to Isaac. And it tugs slightly.
What?
You get the sense that this lie was motivated not just from self-preservation, but to at least some extent out of connection.
Maybe a little respect, who knows?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. Huh.
Yes.
And we're doing that in our minds too.
Yeah, right.
God's like, I like this new noise.
Yeah. If we all do it at the same time at different tones, it kind of makes like a nice vibrating sound.
All right,
Ready?
3,
1, 2, 1.
How
Do you think we could start a barbershop?
This is some pretty epic final arc action right here. As the adventurers near the final battle, they sit together and hum, harmonizing poorly.
Patrick gave us this sick NPC that lets us telepathically talk to one another. Anywhere in the city, basically. And we choose to try and get our mic check in on our fucking thoughts.
And we're flat.
And you're flat. The greatest crime of all.
Guard is going to walk over, and then he's going to kind of sit down in front of Martin to try to be at eye level on him. What happened? The last time I saw you, you were the definition of lost. You were fragile. You still are fragile. Physically, and I flick him in the chest. But you were shown something. You experienced something. What did they do to give you such faith?
When he asks that, can I watch his bonds?
June, go ahead and make me a perception check at advantage, please.
June is just so frustrated right now with this guy because he sounds to her like he's just trying to survive. This is not about faith. This is like, she feels like this is what's the greater of the two. She rolled an 11.
On an 11, you see that one of the bonds extending from Martin out into the world shimmers a slight red.
If I get up and, or if I have my bond projection go over to that shimmering red, can I like tug on it? Does it feel familiar?
Yes. But maybe not for the reasons you expect. Because as you go to rest a hand on this bond, your hand comes to rest on the gentle thrumming of a blood vine.
Well, he's connected to something. He's connected to a vine.
A blood vine. Kill him. Kill him.
Oh, no, I got this. And I will grab Martin by his hair at the top of his head. Pull him, look him straight in the eyes. I suggest you tell us everything you know right now.
Is this a spell? Is this an intimidation check?
This is... Isaac is frustrated. This is suggestion.
Ooh.
All right.
Spicy.
June. No roll required. The bond tying Martin to Isaac shimmers a gentle red.
She'll look at Isaac. What did you just do?
Getting some answers out of him.
Well, your answers just did something to his bond.
Sorry. My bad.
Whoops.
There are 8. There are 8 guardhouses remaining in the city. One of them has been abandoned here near the museum. They may be distributed throughout the rest of the city. It depends on when exactly the order goes out, where everyone is going to be. Certainly there are constant rotational watches, but that is where they would gather, and I would imagine that that is likely to be the epicenter of violence. It roughly corresponds to the 8 districts of the city.
Wonder if we could evacuate those areas.
Evacuate? Darling, there are thousands of people who live in those areas.
I know, but they're all gonna get wiped out by these guys if...
How many guards can these guardhouses hold at any one time? How many are stationed there at any one time?
Well, very few of them are supposed to be in the guardhouse. Most of them are to pick up their weapons for the day and begin their watches. 100?
100 per?
Would be close to full capacity, I believe. I don't know how many of them are actually staffed at each guardhouse.
So, 800 potential maximum issues or threats.
To say nothing of the likely additional 100 or so stationed at the palace itself.
I think I have a plan. Someone knock him out. I don't want him hearing.
Immediately punches the shit out of Martin.
I grab you. I grab you by the arm before you hit him. 1 second. And I look down at Martin, and if possible, I want to turn him so that he could only... I know he's blindfolded still, but I'd like to put him in a position where he's only facing me.
Yeah.
I pull his blindfold off so I can actually look at him. You have faith now in something. But I want you to think about this. And I point at his hip where the flask was. If that flask had worked as intended, if that flask had done what the thing you have faith in intends it to do, you would have died. It is only because it didn't work. It is only because the chaos underneath it broke through that you live. Think about that, and think about where you put your faith. And then I pull the blindfold down and I push him towards Isaac.
I'll do it now.
You gonna knock him out?
Let me blow the fucking...
Let June blow the whistle.
We keep beating the shit out of this guy.
June, go ahead and roll the, 5d6 for sleep?
8.
Martin slumps over in his chair and is asleep. All right. We have a lot of information. We know that there is an execution order to go out to all wardens and soldiers in the city. Kill at your own discretion. We know that the trigger for that could be anything, but a run on the Imperial Palace would almost certainly be one of those things. However, we also know that there are 8 guardhouses, one for each major district of the city. And Guard knows that there are 8 safe houses that roughly correspond to each district of the city. We know the layout of the Imperial Palace. What buildings on the compound are responsible for functions within the Imperial bureaucracy. Where Scepter lives. And where the Empressar sits upon their throne. We know that you have someone on the inside of the Imperial Palace, and you're not sure whom. You know that Hank is somewhere in the city. You know the Griffin is somewhere in the palace. And you know that you have to kill the Empressar.
Hell yeah!
So we need to have a discussion about how you guys are putting that information together. What questions do you still have? What plans do you want to begin making to execute on your goals?
I've got a plan, guys. I've got a plan. Hear me out. We have these safe houses in each of these districts. We have several allies that we have made over the series of this campaign. We have some Tanin. where my brothers and where my dad is now. My skeleton army, right?
Yeah, the Return of the King move.
The Myconids, now that God has been working on. The Krakow, Big Paul's guys. Potentially even the Minehead boys.
Yeah.
If they want to join in the fun.
Elmira,
the kids.
Children.
The child soldiers.
I think they got the old thing going on around this time from my mathing.
Hank's people. And I'm sure Catherine and the Sisterhood could fucking give us a hand too. Maybe. Potentially.
Maybe.
That's a maybe. But
We still don't know.
About Trent.
okay,
they're not our allies.
They're just
They're
we could
enemies.
use them as like just a swarm of chaos.
I don't know that they're enemies
could
so
be.
much as they're just a force of nature.
Yeah, right. Just open
sorry.
them up into one of those guardhouses.
You guys can
and-
call them a force of nature if you want. For guard, they're enemies. Okay, that'll change priorities if they're there.
with this ragtag bunch of people and creatures and wonderful beings, with potentially some tunnels from Isaac, maybe even some tunnels from Demoiselle. We can get some people into those safe houses, just like mold them in, and then chaos. So when the shit hits the fan, or we can preemptively do it and just have them attack the fucking, just get them to go crazy.
I think that imagine a Myconid running teleportation, some Minehead boys running fighting, and everybody brings a gecko with them so they can stay in communication. I'm serious. Because, what do the geckos actually do? They communicate with each other. That's about it. So, let's use these teams for their tools and mix them together as opposed to being what should the geckos do? If every single group has geckos with them, we might not literally be able to communicate, but we definitely will be able to vibe communicate at least a little bit, you know?
That's obviously very logistically complex, but I think we can put a pin in how we solve that, because I think there's a bigger timing question here. Obviously, bringing a bunch of people into the city and launching an initiative starts whatever clock you would start by getting into the palace. And if there are contingencies for outside of the palace, there are almost certainly contingencies for inside of the palace. So what is the plan for the palace? What is the plan for finding Hank? I think those are the three big objectives, right? It's storm the palace to kill the Empressar, find Hank, not necessarily in that order, and then figure out how to make sure that you have reinforcements here to help keep people safe when the execution order goes off.
Oh, looking at this map, do we see a prison area?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a prison complex that is deep beneath the island that the palace is built on. And it appears to connect to the guardhouse on the nearer side of the river.
So, prison break.
I'm down for a prison break. All right, I know this is really dumb,
Sure.
but hear me out.
I love these plans.
So, what if, right, we go, the prison is under the palace,
Yeah.
and the alarms, aka the death traps, are only on the doors and windows. If we get into the prison, what if we just dig up through the ground and just don't use the doors?
How are we gonna dig?
God is basically a walking bulldozer. I don't know if you could just kind of dig up.
I feel like they'd hear that.
I think I could, given time, but I don't know if it would be quick enough.
Could we not use a portal?
You can't plane shift from the same plane to another plane.
Oh, so we'd have to be in another plane to shift
Yeah.
into the plane we
Oh,
want to
that's
go.
right. I can't portal any of the folks here. If that's
You'd have
the
to
case.
You could with
Boss
2
house
days per location.
Can I make a suggestion? Demoiselle can make portals. Maybe it's time we have another conversation with her. In order for this to work, I would have to die. Not a big deal. The bigger issue is I will return fairly quickly. I will have a very limited time to communicate any of this to Demoiselle. I will need your help to plan what I say. I think I have a minute.
Why is it a minute? Can't it be longer?
If you kill me a couple times.
All right, new plan. You go there, tell her you'll be right back, die again, and then we have more time.
The problem with that
it grows
is that
exponentially.
It grows exponentially. So it's 10 minutes, but then if he dies, like actually and not intentionally, it becomes an hour, and so forth
and like
and so
a day, and then a week. This
on. You guys want to write a little speech?
As one of the best speech writers of bullshit, I should probably be the last person to be talking to Demoiselle, since this is sincere and honest.
It's not about sincerity. It's literally about getting the information appropriately in there so that she understands what we need to do.
I want to be clear about expectations here. If you guys kill Guard,
Isaac's already got his sword out.
I am going to start a real world clock. Cinder will have 60 seconds to convince Demoiselle, who does not at the moment have the capacity to individually shepherd anyone from any two places because she's sort of cloistered in this pocket dimension. Convince Demoiselle to deputize, it sounds like the Myconids, allowing them to become a guide army and shepherd some number of your allies to your position. At the end of that minute, whatever Cinder has said is going to be what gets said, and I'm going to have Guard roll a persuasion check, and the DC is going to be based on how well that information was communicated and how thoroughly that information was communicated in the minute.
Yeah, this is. I'm not. Okay.
We good?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You all withdraw into a small and private space. Torch lit and, as Saphira so eloquently put, drafty, away from the prying eyes of the rest of the resistance. Guard, what does it look like as you ready yourself for this bizarre little ritual?
This is weird.
I think there's a bit of a moment where I'm sort of just looking at like this new form that has parts of it that are a little bit more organic. And I just kind of, I don't say this out loud, but I wonder quietly to myself, like, I wonder if it's going to hurt this time. Because very rarely does the damage actually hurt, and I'm not sure. And there's a moment, I think, of like collecting myself. And outwardly, what that probably just looks like is a little bit of like a shoulder slump and a lean forward, and then like a big sort of like chest up, shoulder back, like and sort of like settling into his sort of standard, a little bit more robotic pose.
Hey, Guard. I know what it's like a little bit. Sometimes it hurts. But I know Saphira's gonna try and make it as painless as possible. She always does for me.
Guard just takes his hand and sort of like puts it on top of Sphinx's for a second, gives us like a little squeeze.
All right, Sphinx, step back. Isaac, are you ready?
I don't want to do this. But yeah. As Isaac thinks back to so many of the times when he's had to do this.
June, are you ready?
This feels a lot weirder than I thought it would. You're coming back. You're coming back. I mean, you're gonna be right back, right?
Yeah, hopefully pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be. You're not leaving us. It's gonna be fine.
And Guard, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
And I would like everyone to please roll me just one attack's worth of damage for each of their chosen weapons.
10 points of slashing damage.
4 points of bludgeoning damage.
June, I think because you get all the bonuses and stuff, we're going to double that.
25 points of damage.
Guard, how many hit points do you currently have?
101.
Oh my god.
It's gonna take a few rounds.
Yo, beefy boy.
So beefy.
You all manage to land every hit in exactly the right place. And I think that there's an expectation that this is going to take the better part of an hour. Guard is nigh indestructible. He is made of gods. But in very many ways, so are you. And it takes 2 rounds to whittle through his hit points and to kill him. And guard, you feel yourself falling into the weightless black abyss of death, drifting down a long, dark tunnel. And as you regain consciousness, in an all too familiar corner of the universe, a place of peaceful greens and burbling blues, you hear, "Back again so soon, God."
Oh, me again. Sorry to bother. I just wanted to give a shout out to all of our wonderful patrons. Cat Sanzo, welcome to the Wheels Wardens. And Harlequin, welcome to the League of Rally Defenders. You're joining an incomparable crew that includes Darlene Wallace, Darksteel Panda, Derek Silverstone, GamerTube HD, Icewind Gale, Lucas Carter, Patty, and Randolph Jenkins. Anyway, y'all are how this show gets to continue existing, so thank you very much. And I'd say I'd see you in the next episode, but I don't think I'm in the next episode, so I'll see you when I see you.